Hi, Manifest Nation, back again. I've been doing a little bit of reading. Well, I've been down the shop, got some stuff. And yeah, I'm all good. But thanks for asking. I've been doing some research since I got back about all the different drugs and their ingredients and how things react with each other and the uses in the body. And I've been looking through the amino acid transmitters within that book, which I'll probably have to show because this is screen captured at the minute. But I'll just take you through this article. I won't actually read it. I will. You can read it yourself if you wish. But the reason I'm onto iron oxide is just an example because it gives a talk about nanoparticle sizes. And when you look through a lot of these things, they're like, oh yeah, they're used, but they're in such small amounts that it doesn't matter. But these things are in everything, not necessarily iron oxide, but we have iron in a lot of our foods, and we also have magnesium produced from quite a few of these drugs. They have magnesium. Well, I'll go through the pictures so you can see the exact ingredients. Magnesium not sulfate. One of them anyway. It's a funny spelling, so it's a funny pronunciation. So I'm just going through this very slowly because it gives an explanation to nanoparticles, sizes, inconsistencies with their research, and the when you look into their research, they're like, oh yeah, we've done it 5 times, so we're sure about this. And it's like, I'm sorry. And some of them are only done on like hamsters and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you're kidding. You see that acetylostonate. And what they tend to say is, oh, this is naturally produced in the body. As soon as it says naturally produced in the body, people disregard it. But a lot of these things are to do with the amino acids and the blockers. Some things are naturally produced as a blocker, but they're naturally produced as a blocker because it needs a little bit of blocking, not a total amount of blocking. And some of these things are in all our food. And I was looking up like the ingredients of aspartame and the what you get from that. And off of that subject, one of the things with that magnesium, when you combine it with iron, they become magnets. They chemically react with each other. Nanocubes. They react with each other and become magnetic. And I'm taking you through this nano stuff because you can see the sizes and how your blood-brain barrier has no chance at keeping them out. Okay? So when you start adding magnetic waves around us, and they only do a single source, maybe a second source occasionally, but you need to consider the square meter equations because we have it all around us now, everywhere. So I mean, you can pause any of that and just read it. I mean, we're only a third of the way through the article, but I'll take you through some of the ingredients in a minute of these drugs. And it's magnetization. Oh. See, it says almost unchanged. They're not considering the abundance of... And they talk about DNA effects as well, quite a lot with these things. And whether or not they cause DNA changes. And they use the word negligible and stuff like that quite often, but they're not taken into account. It's in everything. Some of these ingredients are in everything. And one of the things that are in quite a few drinks is like benzenes and things like that. And you look at the way in which benzenes interact with these ingredients, and I'm pretty certain now, after looking for not that long, that these drugs contain chemicals, or the effects from us taking them, and the chemical reactions produce other chemicals, and they affect our body. And when you read into it more and more and more, it's like, how the hell are people even alive now? So now they've started up all the you can see why people moaned about the magnetic toxicity, the 5Gs and stuff, the telephone poles, the radio signals. They are a toxicity to our body. This is a long article. Look, and bioseparation and biodetection, they should be made at dimensions they are comparable to those of a virus, 20 to 500 nanometers, a protein 5 to 50 nanometers, or a DNA 10 to 100 nanometers. Yeah, and then you look at the size of the nano stuff. Silicas. We'll go into the things in a second. When this is done, it's only got not even halfway through yet. But you can see the amount of different evidence they've got, but they're not taking everything into account. They look at all this stuff and they're like, yeah, that's just, they get it to just within legal limits. Sorry, just having a drink. See, I'll use this as a thing myself. Just come inside. I'm going to go sit outside because it's warmer out there. It's lovely out here. Lovely and sunny. Oh, look, Department of Physics, Wuhan University. You see that, one of the first ones? Yeah. What a coincidence, eh? Right, let me go to me pictures. Right, that took like 10 minutes to go through that article slowly. Imagine how long it would have taken if I'd read it. Right, there's some of the ingredients to OxyContin. See? Polyethylene. Ingredients of Ipana. Ingredients in Percocet. Ingredients in vicodine. Ingredients in methadone. You see, magnesium stearate. There we go, stearate. There's the morphine ingredients. Fentanyl compounds. Again. Dilaudid. I don't know if I said that right. Ingredients. Demerol ingredients. Hydrocodone. Keep seeing that magnesium stearate. Okay. Combined with iron, magnesium reacts. It becomes magnetic. Codeine. And they say, oh, it won't absorb into the body. It's all right. It goes straight into the stomach. But some of these things are nano sizes. Nano means they pass through membranes, which includes the throat and the stomach. If it's depending on its oral transmission, or I mean, some of these things are in vaccines, as you know. Like I'll go through that. Well, I did in one of my other videos. Hypersensitivity to codeine. Acute respiratory depression. See these things? Codeine phosphate. Oxymorphone. Acetaminophen. Amitriptyline. That's hard to say. Amitriptyline. I can say it again. When you read these things, this is tricyclic antidepressant medicine, which changes the balance of chemicals in the brain called neurotransmitters, particularly the ones called serotonin and noradrenaline. However, amitriptyline is used at low dose to manage neuropathic pain. See, they keep saying, oh, it's used at low levels, it's okay. Titanium dioxide, there you go. Oxymorphone hydroxide. Naproxen, magnesium again. Naproxen sodium, you can see the two differences. One's got colloidal silica dioxide talc. Now I'll take you through and that one was meperidine. Then you got tramadol and titanium dioxide. I'll take you through these because then I can show you the amino acid transmitters and how they're blocking them. There's magnetized magnesium stearate right there. And it says it's is a white water insoluble powder. Okay. And it's got a low toxicity, not no toxicity, okay? It says insoluble in many solvents. What was this like? Sure. Magnesium content in the body is stored in bones and muscles. Oh, it's nano sizes. Iron sulfate. See, both are naturally occurring amino acids. Oh. And then you look at phenylalanine. Phenylalanine is an essential amino acid that you get from food. when your body processes aspartame, and it's processed into methanol. Is that it? No, one more. The middle line. Oh, look. It's a precursor for tyrosine, the monoamine neurotransmitter dopamine, and the skin pigment melanin. It's how to do with the sun, is it? Neuromodulation is a psychological process which a given neuron uses one or more chemicals to regulate diverse populations of neurons. Neuromodulators typically bind to metabotrophic G protein coupled receptors to initiate. You see how this all affects each other. If I go back down, this modulation can last for hundreds of milliseconds to several minutes. Some of the effects of neuromodulators include alter intrinsic firing activity, increase or decrease voltage dependent currents, alter synaptic efficacy, increase bursting activity, and configuration of synaptic connections. That's your brain, by the way. That's how your brain works. They're like the nerves. Ingredients in aspartame. I looked at that. Magnetic iron oxide. I think that's where we were. Yeah, it was. So, and I'll pause you. No, I won't. I will pretty much call it there and show you all about the amino acid transmitters. Thank you very much. Much love. Manifest.